Hmm. Ricola. Yes, it is I, says me. And all that agree are exactly three. And we're we. Most known bastard in the building. Make some noise, the most known bastard in the building. Showing up on time for work. Oh my goodness. Who says Negroes operate on CP time? Both of my brothers are exactly on time for work. We about to get this thing all the way popping. Our special guest, Authenticity is Magnetic. He's going to school y'all on the ways of getting the graphic t-shirt business up and running, solidifying your brand and such. And he probably just going to talk about how he living out here. And typically I start these things with a beatbox, so light the head, here it go. Up the score in the building. That man is an outstanding dancer. Do 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 do. So we just waiting for you to connect in. As soon as you connect in, everything gonna be irie. Everything gonna be irie, man. You gotta accept it, probably. It says you was unable to join. Let's try this again, man. She get a prompt like straight up. Oh, it says you connected?
What
The
up?
man has connected. There are connecting things going on here, sir. Yes, y'all. And it don't stop. My man in the building, in the got to be the show shot. How you feeling, big dog? Can you hear me?
I can. It seems like there's a delay.
Oh yeah, because I'm just letting people know we live right now. I'm letting people know we live. They probably just got us muted and paused a little bit while I get things all the way lit. Okay, get things all the way lit. Okay, hey. Yes, y'all, and it don't stop. Oh man, I spelled podcast and live wrong. This is not good. We just working it out. Working it out. Yeah, y'all. What it do? In here with the crew. Everybody waving at the dude. My man got the fitted. What it say? It say AIM, not say AIM. Had to read it backwards. Little dyslexia, but it's coming true. What's up, man? You know any of these people saying hi to us right now? We got BS Vontae. Not sure who that is. We got, looks like Lewis Campbell. You know who that is?
No, I don't know.
You don't know these people, man. They probably just popping through on some brand new, man. That's what I said. We got brand new people popping through. What's up, man? How's it going, man?
Good.
I'm glad you was able to make it through, man. I feel damn. It's probably been like 3 years since we've actually seen each other in the same physical space.
Yeah,
Just
it's
bad.
been a minute. I think it was the last time you was at the house for a minute.
Brandon in the building and Renzo Benz in the building. Yes. Yeah, man, that was actually real dope though. You know what I mean? Just kind of like building with you, and just kind of get to pick your brain a little bit about like just culture and stuff like that. That was super dope. Did you ever expand upon those things that we was doing?
Yeah, I did expand upon it. That I thought a lot of the stuff that you had said was real valid, and I like to ask other people the kind of the same questions and got their feedback, and I realized that if some of the things that we talked about that I personally had to be an example of that. So um, that's probably what I've been more focused on the last
No,
couple of
that was
years is
building.
just being the example of some of the things that I want from the culture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of like be the change, or you know what I mean. Like I say it to death, but man, it's just the realest thing ever. When most deaf say, you know what I mean, like hip hop is going wherever we're going. You know what I mean. Like I think that's the only way to answer anything when it comes to the culture. You know what I mean. Like what are you doing? What are you on? You know what I mean. What
Yeah,
is
I think that's the only thing that you have control over is what you can do. Your actions, your attitudes, your thoughts, and your feelings. You know what I mean? You can't
Mm-hmm.
impact anybody to do anything that they choose not to do, but you got all the control over what you want to do, what you should do. So that's what I focus on more than anything, what I can control.
How'd you feel about the way that the culture responded to just 2020 in general?
Um, I think overall, I think people were real resilient. I think people were able to pivot and were able to look for more solutions, and not focus on the problem. I think at first that it was kind of people might have been a little bit down and out, but um, I think in the culture we're also known as fighters. You know what I mean? That's just what we do. We fight.
Mm-hmm.
I love what Les Brown says. As long as you can look up, you can get up. And I feel like that's what we did. We found alternative routes, and I also think that gave us an advantage. Um, because we're used to the struggle, and that's where we were able to really succeed is in that struggle. So I think we rebounded and did a good job.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like do you feel like 2020 was kind of a good pivot as far as the culture goes toward possibly, I don't know, like the content potentially being more I don't know, like I don't know, just better. Do you think that the things that happened in 2020 kind of changed the perspective so that like maybe the content that gets created in the culture is just more thoughtful, or you know what I mean, maybe a bit, more mature?
I do. I think that, and I've been on it my whole life. I really believe that people's mindsets really focused on the positivity and the optimism.
Mhm.
Um, and I hear the word vibes passed around a lot, but I really seen that this year. People are really about the correct vibes. We've had
Mhm.
enough struggle. We see enough of that negativity in the media. Um, and people don't want to be on that vibe. People want to still be focused on their dreams, their goals, their the positivity and the optimism of life. And I think a lot of the content, from music to art to clothing, is all going in that direction. Um, that I see that more and more.
Mhm. Mhm. You feel like you've become more conscious in 2020, or do you feel like
Um,
maybe you were you already conscious and now it's just kind of like being woke kind of helped you through it?
I feel like it validated my mindset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Um,
like. Yeah.
I've been that way my whole life. I've been through struggles, I've been through ups and downs, and I just I think my athletic background helped me a lot. I went through tough times in sports, and I was supposed to be at a certain level and never made that certain level, but I never gave up. And my story in sports has always been that, like, dude never gave up. He persevered, he pushed through. Even though there might have been a lot of disappointment, he was still able to push through. And that's just the way my mindset has always been. And I like hearing that that's the way most people are looking at life. You just got to be able to bounce back. Like, nobody ever said life was going to be easy. You know what I mean? So we have to enjoy whenever times are great, and learn from when times seem to be maybe whenever they're a little bit tougher.
So, so push through is kind of like the thing for you for 2020.
It's probably just for the rest of my whole life. It's just,
Yeah.
you got to push forward. You know what I mean? Like, ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. And
Mm,
I was told, and I live this still to this day. You know what I mean? There's only one to a box. You know what I mean? So, when we all pass away, it's just one to a box. So when it comes to your life, nobody cares about your problems as much as you do. So,
mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna look for anybody to try to fix my problems. That's up to me.
Yeah. 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 So you you talked about your athletic background. Was there a sport in particular or?
Yeah, I was an all-state wrestler. I had made it to state, 3 years in a row, and I had lost in the second round every year. But each year I was predicted to win the state. But I lost in that second round every year, and I had to come back and wrestle, 6 matches to come back and wrestle third to place third. And I did that 3 years in a row. And placing first is hard, but sometimes placing third is harder than placing first, because you got to go through the mental breakdown and the consolations, and um, you know, just that defeat of, like, man, I'm in the same position again.
Yeah.
And it's easy just to give up on yourself, but my mindset was, if I can't get first, and the next best thing that I can get is third, that's what I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
do. But the great thing about life is that even whenever you fail, you can always come back and still get first place. So um,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
been a big catalyst for my life.
So you got the brand aim. Just in a word, aim is, obviously something that people can, can in some way draw some type of narrative from. Is aim. It's like you see that word and it's just like, oh, okay, there has to be either a place they're trying to come from or a place they're going to some capacity. This brand represents progress to some, but then you break down AIM and it's actually an acronym. What does the acronym stand for?
Authenticity is magnetic.
Hmm. And how is that something that you birthed or is that something that you stumbled across?
I would say I stumbled across it. My wife and I were building a brand, and the initial brand was called Blast Promotions. And we went around and followed different music artists, and we had a little energy drink mix that we were promoting. And I, as we were building the brand, the thing was, is like, I couldn't see how anybody could connect the Blast Promotions. So
Hmm.
I kept telling her, I was like, we need to figure something out that people can connect with, that has some
Yeah.
type of movement behind it.
Hmm.
And one time I saw the word authenticity is magnetic, and I shared it on Instagram. And it wasn't like that a ton of people liked it, but it was the quality of people that liked it. And I'm like, you know what? You think you can make this into a logo? And at that time, she she took a lot of time making logos, but this one particular logo, she was able to make it in like 15 minutes. And
Hmm.
I saw it, and I was like, dang! I was like, that's it right there.
Hmm.
And I put it on a T-shirt. I went to a music show a week later, and all these people started asking me about it. And then I put
Hmm.
it on Facebook, and all these people wanted to buy T-shirts with it. So it was kind of like what validated. We were authentic to what we wanted to do, and it did. It attracted the right people.
Right. So I wasn't aware. Maybe I was initially, but obviously it slipped my mind. I well, talk about, you said your wife does the designs.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, I don't know. Maybe when I think about graphic designs, it seems to be sort of a male dominated
I know.
arena. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
when you hear like a woman that's a designer, a graphic designer, or a woman that's a DJ or something like that, your ears automatically perk up a bit like, oh wow, okay, you know what I mean? Just because those are kind of like areas, like I said, where men pretty much dominate. Now I gotta be real. I'm one of those people, it's hard for me to work. It would be hard for me to work with a significant other in a creative space. How is it that, you know what I mean? Like, what was kind of the catalyst to that, but being a thing, or did you guys meet in that, you know what I mean, capacity, or did you guys kind of develop a sense that, oh, you're good at this thing and I'm good at this thing, so let's put it together? Or
Yeah, it was funny that you said that because when you came to the house that one day and we were setting up the background for the photography, I remember you saying, "Man, that's cool that you and your wife can work together like that."
oh, I said that.
Yeah,
Oh
and
yeah, man.
I
'Cause
still remember that. Yeah.
I would never trust a significant other with my creativity. Super selfish like that. Like, no, this is my creativity. Don't come invade and
Yeah, and it's funny again, because you were talking about that book about personalities, and
mm,
she has that melancholy personality, and I have that sanguine cleric personality, but it meshes really well. And whenever we met each other, it didn't take long for us to kind of notice that we've been doing things together for a long time. I mean, back in the day, she used to make uh, custom photo books, and I used to take them to the juvenile home that I work with and sell them to the lunch ladies.
mm,
She used to make draft stoppers, for me, and I used to sell them on eBay. And
mm.
I used to tell her, you know what I mean, with my sales skills and your creative skills, like we can do something together. And sometimes we be at each other's throats, here and there, just like any couple. But when it comes to us working together, we balance each other out really well. So it's
So
just like a perfect marriage in that.
pretty much all the designs that I've seen from you guys, and I just, man, if I could write you guys a blank check to just wardrobe me out, bro, this designs I
Appreciate
want.
that, man.
You know what I mean? Like, so pretty much all those designs are just her brainchild.
Almost every single one of them. There's a
That's
couple,
it.
with some other artists, designers that we had worked with. Some others that we were able to get kind of for free. But I would say 95% of the designs are all hers, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what a lot of people don't see. People do not realize it, and I tell her all the time. I'm like, you're a six-figure, multi-million-dollar designer. You know what I mean? Like her
Yeah,
attention to detail, her ability to get things done, and to make sure that they're done correctly. A
yeah.
lot of people just don't realize because they just see me. They just see the clothing. They don't realize, and like you said, that it's a female designer that's behind our entire brand.
Mm-hmm. I think too, it's like for some reason I don't like I said it just slipped my mind, but the entire time since we our last meeting, I was under the impression that you were making these designs. And the reason why I said that I thought it was you and not just like some other guy is because you can tell there's a lot of love in all the designs too. You know what I mean? Like like as I see it, like you talk about the attention to detail, I think it's just because she really respects her work. She
Exactly.
has a level of respect for what she's doing or proud of what she's doing. And you can see it in the art as it comes out. You know what I mean? That's why I thought it was you doing it because I'm like, there's no way he paid a graphic designer to do this. They would never put this level of detail into it. But now that I know it's your wife, it's her brand. So of course she's gonna put that level of attention into it. So yeah.
Yeah, I always got a million, as a creative, I got a million things, that
Mm-hmm.
I want and I see, but she can take what I visualize and she can put it down and then she can alter it and make her adjustments or make her suggestions. And again, AIM and everything that you see is that blend of both of us. So
Mm-hmm.
again, that's our perfect marriage. That's what you see.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you said that because I appreciate that feedback because that's exactly what we try to do. We want
Mm-hmm.
people to see that there's the two of us, in those
Mm-hmm.
designs and in those projects.
Word, word. So you when did you like start AIM exactly? Like when did you decide like, we had so you talked about having certain ventures that you guys had. When did you decide, well, t-shirts is kind of what we want to make our flagship product, you know what I mean?
2016 is when AIM came out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And again, I had no idea that I would ever do clothing, fashion, anything like that. It was just once we put it on the T-shirt and it took off, we just kept building on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I studied. It's funny because growing up, I was a documentary buff. Like I just
Mm-hmm.
love documentaries. I love watching, the trials and tribulations. I love watching the origin stories. I love that. So there's a lot of people that I had watched, and there's a lot of brands that I had studied that I didn't realize that was going to transition into what we did later in life.
Yeah.
And I
Can you
still
explain?
do that.
Can
I
you
still
go
pay
into
a lot of attention to.
those that you liked?
I'm sorry.
What were some examples?
So of course, I really like watching the Jay-Z's. I like watching the Diddy's.
Mm-hmm.
I like watching the Dame Dashes. I like watching Damon John, Steve Jobs. Um, I love the Ray Kroc McDonald's documentary.
I still got to
Um,
watch that movie. That movie seemed interesting.
yeah, Staple Pigeon with Jeff Staple,
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Hundreds, the Supreme. Watching all that type of stuff. That it was all influential. Hype Williams, Master P,
Mm-hmm.
all those. Just growing up,
Lizzie in the building.
those are the things that I watched.
Yeah. He said Hip Hop Revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love documentaries. I'm one of the people that could go on the YouTube rabbit hole for hours, man. You know what I mean? Sometimes sometimes I come across false information. I'll tell my little brother, Marcus and Brandon for that matter. And they'll have to like kind of fact check me. You know what I mean? Oh, man, the conspiracy theory, bring it on to hear that. You know what I mean? I need to hear all conspiracy theories. You know what I mean? Because life is gonna be, because they say sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. You know what I mean? So you gotta,
Yeah.
I don't know, you gotta. I get pulled into that conspiracy theories, and sometimes I'm not sure what's true or false. But so you decided that T-shirts was going to be the thing. What was, whenever you jumped feet first into it, what was the one thing when you got into it and you was like, if I'd have known it was gonna be like this, I might have jumped different.
uh, I, I would say, of course, the time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The speed on which you think things are going to happen versus how fast they truly happen.
Mm-hmm. Beast
The
baller,
patience behind it all.
flyer.
I'm not the most patient person, and I
Mm-hmm.
think building a brand has taught me how to be patient, and
But
that's tough. But I've had to really look at long term. I'm 39 years old.
mm-hmm.
I don't consider myself old, but I just say I'm not in my 20s anymore.
Yeah,
But you
right.
have a certain time frame in your head that you want to be certain places, you want to be
My
financially in a certain
is and
area,
it's
but you
mm-hmm.
can't build a true brand if you try to rush it,
Right.
because people will feel that. If they feel that it's just about trying to spend a dollar, then the
Mm-hmm.
brand won't grow. It definitely
Right.
has to be, building relationships, building a true community, and having that
Mm-hmm.
authenticity behind it. And that takes time.
It's a labor of love. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no
Uh,
doubt.
yeah, time. I mean, I think, man, that's like one thing in every endeavor. You just never realize how fast, and then you see some of those flash in the pan people who, you know what I mean. They just stood outside of Market Square one day with a T-shirt, and then all of a sudden, some angel fund investor, you know what I mean, that blew them all the way up. You're like, dang, I wish I could do it like that. But what was another thing, like maybe can you talk about like the equipment and stuff like that you had to go and get it?
So the equipment was kind of simple. I watched videos on how to do things from the house, and we got the T-shirt press, we got the little Cameo, which cuts the vinyl and everything. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Finding just the place where you can buy the vinyl at, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and then having like the cameras. But then we realized that our cell phones could do a lot of things, but I'd say that's probably was the easiest thing, was finding the product to be able to do things from it in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I think where we have an advantage is first off, we have so much room to grow because we don't do any embroidery, we don't do any screen printing, and that's a lot more high quality. We do everything vinyl, and if you look up most things, people will tell you don't try to build a brand with vinyl. Um, but that's just because most people don't have a graphic designer like we do.
Uh,
Because she can
can
she
you
can make
explain
things just look the
can
best.
you disadvantage?
What's that?
Could you explain why trying to do a vinyl business without a graphic designer would be a disadvantage?
Because the quality can look cheap. You
Mm-hmm.
know, vinyl's a cheaper way to do things, and you have to make sure you get the correct vinyl. Because vinyl can crack, and not last as long.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when you look across the board, there's a lot of people that can create a logo and slap it on a T-shirt, but you can look at it and be like, that's just it doesn't look high quality. But
Mm-hmm.
having a graphic designer that really takes their time and has that eye and that touch, they can make the vinyl look like $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
And we've really had that. That's our benefit, and it allows us to pump out product.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think that's one of our advantages and one of my strongest points is to be able to keep putting things out. Whether it sells or not, it doesn't matter because people can see, as you said, you can see the passion, you can see the design work, and you can see that we're just constantly pushing things out to push the brand. And it's all
So
about branding.
when I see your product on your site or on your Instagram page, is that an actual physical product?
Yeah, there's a
Uh,
majority of them almost all. Sometimes we have like the Photoshop, but I don't really like putting a lot of those out. Sometimes I'll do that as a feeler just to
mm-hmm.
see what the response will be. But immediately I'm like, look, seems like people like this. We need to put this on a garment.
Mm-hmm.
But the majority of our stuff is on real garments.
Mm-hmm. So, and I don't mean to get too far into your business, but where are you at as far as projection or your goals as far as like this thing being a sustainable, viable source of income for you?
So I would say uh, last year was a great year. This year was it was challenging at the beginning of the year. However, it's really picking up steam now. I'm gonna tell you, we got some great influencers that we've been able to work with over the last couple of years. I would shout them all out right now, but I don't want to miss anybody. But I'll
Mm-hmm.
tell you, there's some individuals that we've been able to work with that have really helped our brand stand out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And we
Mm-hmm.
went into a whole different industry within the last couple of months. I'm sure you've seen that on Instagram, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
taking it to a whole nother level.
The
It's
rest.
something that whenever I looked at things like the Hundreds and Supreme, Stussy, that was the same group of people that they latched onto, and that when that group latched onto their brand, it blew it up, and I'm starting to
Mm-hmm.
see the same thing with us.
Where let me know if I could buy stock. You know what I mean? Hit the market. Let me know. Give me that insider trading.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely.
I
It's a little
need.
early for that, but hopefully one day.
Well, um, what's the thing you love the most about the t-shirts? Other than obviously being able to work with your wife.
I like to be able to teach my mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I like to be able to share my mindset and see how other people latch on. I'm a coach, so
Okay.
I try to
So
coach
you
and
coach
teach through the
wrestling?
brand, and I coach wrestling.
Yeah.
Um, so being able to influence others in a positive way is probably one of the biggest things that I love about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now you got a group of boys, right?
Yeah, I have two boys, which I'm about to tell. Legend, can you grab my charger for me? Thanks. Yeah, I got two boys. I got a 13-year-old and an 8-year-old.
How much do they influence the brand?
A lot. My
Mm-hmm.
13-year-old is extremely opinionated. He gave us a lot of good ideas over the years, and actually some of the logos and things that he helped create,
Like,
have been some good sellers. Um,
mm-hmm.
my youngest, he's just now starting to get into it a little bit. I'm teaching him about assets and liabilities at 8. So I think they like the business part of it right now more so than really gravitating towards the brand. You know, and I think
Right.
one of the big things is when your parents and stuff are, that's your parents, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I like it, but, you know, sometimes they want to do their own thing. But
Mm-hmm.
um, I think that example will be something that
Well,
really pays off in the end.
yeah, man. I think it's like, I think about the things that I dream about and my dreams and goals and stuff and how that's gonna affect just like my son. You know what I mean? And hopefully, no matter what road I go down, I hope that he sees that I tried to do something, you know what I mean, that I was passionate about and gave it my all, you know what I mean? And I hope that that inspires him to chase his dreams, you know what I mean? And obviously do so with a level of support from a conscious parent who understands, you know what I mean, like just how much sacrifice and stuff like that goes into chasing a dream, you know what I mean? So yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's very dope that your kids get to see that firsthand. Um, what would you say are like? Do you have any like tips? I'm not even gonna ask you to give me a specific number, but what are some things you wish you knew before you got out? You talked about having time, but like, like what type of things would you tell an aspiring t-shirt manufacturer?
I would say don't be afraid to put out what you like, and don't be afraid to get constructive criticism, and don't be afraid of what other people's opinions are, because you
Mm,
always got another at bat. It doesn't
yeah,
really matter as long as you keep putting things out. It might be the 500th thing that you put out that people grasp to, but I just say that just be consistent, and I think consistency,
what up,
and you
Toy?
hear that it is. It's absolutely that's the key, because that's what people
Consistency.
will gravitate towards, and that's what people will respect.
Yeah.
When they see that you're passionate about it and that you're consistently putting it out, um, it just pulls people in.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Mm-hmm.
think sometimes a lot of people just get down, and I think I was like that at first. I was afraid of what people's opinion was going to be. I was afraid with not being genuine in what I wanted, and I think that held me back. But once I got to the point where I was just like, man, I don't care. Like
Yeah.
let them give me the feedback. Let them say they don't like it. I'll just get better.
Yeah.
Um, and so that would probably be my biggest piece of advice.
Yeah, because I had a t-shirt, I had a little t-shirt startup. I want to say this was 2013, maybe. I can't even remember now. Um, but I just remember putting all this money into it, getting my money back, not making a profit, and just being like, man, we broke even, I'm out. Yo, because I was like, boy, I did not realize how much money I was going to put into that. But I was like, yo, that was crazy. You know what I mean? It was different from hip hop for me because being signed and people paying for my studio time and stuff like that. I don't know. That was just a different animal. Like actually having to fork up my bread,
Yeah.
like going couple months not knowing if I was gonna get that bread back. Finally getting
Yep.
back and just being like, fuck it.
Yep. Yeah. We put a lot of money into it, man. But the law of reciprocation is real.
Yeah.
Um, and one of my biggest strategies is I put my product in the street. You know what I mean? It does no good sitting on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
So even if people don't purchase it, it will look like somebody's getting a free T-shirt. You know what I mean? Because I need a picture with you in it or something that helps build value into the brand, that gives social
Mm-hmm.
proof to the brand.
Now,
And
do you get on the new? Oh, good. I'm sorry.
no, that's not. I'm good. Go ahead.
Are you on a new wave of doing the not the drop shipping, but you send it to a manufacturer, they press
Nah,
it, send it, so you
no.
do everything in house.
Everything is in house.
Mm.
Everything we touch, everything that comes to a person, we touched.
What about the marketing, like the Facebook marketing and all of that? Do you do that or?
Yeah, so I got a Shopify store. I've been doing
Mhm.
Facebook ads. I'll tell you what, I started doing Facebook ads like serious 2 months ago, September 8th. But
Yeah.
I had probably been working on it for 2 years.
Hmm.
And from September 8th to now, we're close to 100 sales off of Facebook ads.
Wow.
So that's one of the biggest things I'm really excited about, because I did a lot of studying to learn how to create the proper Facebook ad so it targets the right person. And it's a
Mm-hmm.
great feeling when you can look at your Shopify orders every day and you're getting orders every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. You need to teach a class, man. Charge some money, teach a class, man.
Yeah.
But nah, cause I mean, how many people want to sell T-shirts and just don't even know? You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't even know. I mean, like, to be honest, like, outside of just outside of Miss Long in the building, outside of just selling T-shirts, you would anybody like me and you, right? We have this thing that not only do we have an ability to create a tangible product, but we also have all this experience that we
Right.
could now sell as consulting. You
Right.
know what I mean? Or, like internet courses and stuff like that. And I think that's a wave that like people like me and you who are on the way that we, you know what I mean? Like we're on our way to someplace. We sometimes I think we forget, like, man, on this journey we took so many L's.
Right.
And some, from the outside looking in, those is losses, but to us, those is lessons, valuable
Yeah.
lessons that we
Right.
didn't have to necessarily pay a tuition for, but we paid in our time, sweat, and
Right. Right.
sweat equity. You know what I mean? We might have played monetarily. Like, I can't tell you how many times in this music stuff I done paid money, got played. You know what I mean? Like, and them is things that I could put together and, you know what I mean? Like consultation, like, I mean, and I'm actually working in that capacity now with Grandma Music Management, like consulting, new up and coming artists, saving people time in the studio, just saving people time in their publishing pursuits. You know what I mean? Just because I know all the L's, and I'm pretty sure
Right.
T-shirt business, you could probably write a book. So I think that's something that me, you, and people like us who should always look at, like, yo, not only am I an artist, not only am I, a T-shirt, fashion guru, but I'm also, you know what I mean? Like, I'm also this wealth of knowledge that could be passed on as consulting, as lessons, you know what I mean? Ebooks and all of that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's definitely something I want to do in the future. I think for me the number one thing is establishing the longevity of a brand. And when I look at brands, I look at the Coca-Colas and the Apples and the Johnson and Johnsons, and those things that eventually you built the brand and you put all that sweat equity in that. Anything that you put that brand on becomes valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a book, whether it's a school, athletic facility, all those different things. But the value was built into the brand of AIM.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm the most passionate about, and that's what I mean by the long-term game. And that was something I was passionate about prior to ever listening to Gary Vaynerchuk, which I know a lot of people know about. Some people can bang with him, some people don't, but he was one of the people that really validated my whole entire thought process. Everything that he talked about and said, and the whole strategy, my mind was already there. It was just like, wow, I just like, this dude's a multimillionaire, but he's validating what my strategy was ever before ever listening to him. So
So,
I
Miss,
know that's the long-term game. It's about branding, because once you establish a brand, it can last, years and years, and that's what gets passed down to my kids and to my
mm-hmm.
grandkids and so forth and so on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people forget that, you know what I mean? Particularly when it comes to music, people think they're just recording songs. It's like, man, those songs are just commercials. Yeah,
Right.
and the thing you're really selling is your brand. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like that. And every song that you make is just solidifying your brand in some capacity. You know what I mean? So, yeah,
I think like Chance the
100%.
Rapper said he sold like $5 or $6 million in a year of his hat. You know
Mm,
what I mean? But that was just
yeah.
all based off of his brand.
Brandon, right. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, and then like the aim, I mean, you can put that on pens, lighters, like you said,
Anything.
the side of a stadium. You know what I mean?
Right.
Eventually, that's where I'm sure that's where you want it to be, right? Like
Yeah, that
that big, so it'll be on the side of a stadium somewhere. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I feel that 100%. Or brought to you by AIM. You know what I mean?
that's right. Yeah. Exactly.
I feel that. I feel that. Yeah,
The
man.
value is definitely in that logo right there.
Mm-hmm. And that name is just so solid. You know what I mean? Like that's something that's gonna be so good cross marketing wise. You know what I mean? I feel like y'all brand is super strong. You know what I mean?
I
What
appreciate
what
that, man.
demographic do you feel like is kind of like your strongest market?
It's the arts just in general.
And the Freddie in the building, DJ
Um,
Gaz in the building. We
it's
got.
just arts, you know what I mean? And everybody is creative in their own way, you know, whether it's through music, whether it's through clothing, you
Mm-hmm.
know, whether it's through, you know, DJing, um, you know, like the guys that we're sponsoring right now in the BMX world, you know what I mean? Like they're artists, you know,
Mm-hmm.
them going down the street and doing all those different tricks, you know, and their tool is their bike.
Yeah.
And the art that they're producing is what you see whenever they're making those videos and those vlogs. So I feel like everybody is creative. So I think that's why we can hit every demo, from young, middle age to old.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All races, religions. We can hit it all because
Yeah.
everybody is creative, and everybody's authentic. Everybody, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
When
We all got a different thumbprint. You know what I mean? We all got different fingerprints. That already makes us authentic in our own right.
yeah, when I saw that you were developing like a sister brand with the wrestling stuff, I thought that was dope because I kind of always, whenever I saw AIM, I felt like that was always going to be something that was no matter what niche. I feel like AIM is always going to be something that would be dope with like the athletic wear. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like especially with when this new world we're in now where everybody is health conscious. You know what I mean? I'm talking everything from spandex to the waist trainers to the, you know what I mean, like the what them things they put on the resistance bands. I feel like, I just feel like I can see AIM on all of that stuff. You know what I mean? Even water bottles. Like I feel like, you guys could definitely, I feel like you guys could give Under Armour and all those guys a run for their money.
yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, because we didn't even get into the Just Wrestle brand. You know, that's a whole monster in its own. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's still at the beginning stages. But we were able to grow that audience. I mean, I got like 15,000 followers on Facebook in that community, and almost close to 10,000 on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a real niche market. And I think that's definitely there's going to be a bright future, you know, with that in the future as well. I will say they're a tougher audience to sell to though. They're
Mm-hmm.
real committed to like the Asics and Rudis and Nike. You know, those brands really established themselves in that wrestling market. So they're welcoming us in the community as being able to provide value and to build trust. But they're hard to sell to. So there's a lot of work to be done in that arena.
Is it as simple as getting an influencer? Like, kind of.
Nah, because we actually got a Division One national champion that was an influencer for us, and that didn't even really work. You know what I mean?
Dang,
Like
that's
they're
crazy.
they're tough.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I feel like
We got to
people.
be around for a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like people like there's fair weather in niches like hip hop. You know what I mean? Whatever is popping, you can just get the influencer to run through there. But I feel like saying, like you said, wrestling, like that is a particularly that form of wrestling, not like
Yeah.
WWE. Like you got to be a specific type of cat. You know what I mean? To even want to get on the mat. You know what I mean? So
Right. Right.
yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah, we also do another one. You'll probably see it here and there. It's VGN, which is the video game ninja. Just because I see how big the esports world is. And I've been building that for like a year and a half as well. But getting really to really start pushing that heavy, because with COVID, more and more people are at home. They're on Twitch, they're gaming. Even if they're on Twitch and just the chat communities, just that whole esports business and industry is something that I think is really going to pop, in the next couple of years. So I want to be a part of that because I used to be a big game head back in the day. I can't do it now. I just don't have enough time. But I
Yeah,
still
yeah.
appreciate that culture.
My man Bricks put me on, and he just like, bro, I won the championship on 2K, and I realized I ain't win shit. I just out here wasting my damn time.
Hey, that's real though. That's real.
And once he said that, because I was kind of jumping off the video games anyway for you, but once he said that, I was totally play the damn game. I got shit to do.
That's true too, because you go through all the emotional ups and downs too. Like you was really playing. Like, and then you win a championship, and he's exactly right, man. You ain't win nothing.
You get a bunch of what they call it, screen, what they call it, they do
screenshots.
Yeah, screenshots.
And it ain't nothing but you're just what you've created in your head anyway. That's funny.
I love video games. To be honest, I think there's like a level of success, right? Like I feel like everybody's vision of success is different, but for me, my vision of success is being able to do my favorite pastimes guilt-free. Yeah, man.
No doubt.
I want to be able to play video games all day and not be thinking, dang, I could have made some money today. I want to be able to chill with my son all day and not be thinking, at some point, this got to end because I got to go to work. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to be able to do all my favorite pastimes with like zero guilt. Like, to me, that's success. You know what I mean? Like,
no doubt.
So,
yeah, I'm not big into like things like, you know, watches and cars and all.
Mm-hmm.
I think money as I've gotten older, and I think even as when I was younger, it's just a tool to be able to do exactly what you just said. You know, just it gives you options. And that's all I really want dough for. You know what I mean? So I got options. I don't need all that other stuff, but you know, if I want to travel somewhere, if I want to eat something that, you know, is luxurious, or you know, if I want to, you know, be able to have a gym that's my own, like it's just a tool.
For sure.
And that's exactly why I want a significant amount of money.
Yeah, for sure. Creative, just like you said, just to actually live,
right?
And not have to feel like you always in survival mode.
It's like we got enough stuff to worry about. Like money doesn't have to be.
It really shouldn't be one. You know what I mean? Like, but we bought into the system, and you know, that's a whole different. We could go a whole hour talking about.
No doubt.
But yeah, man. I mean, speaking of society, are you know, we got a new president. I'm not gonna ask you what your political affiliations are, but you know, what are you thinking? Even outside of the presidency, what's kind of like your outlook for this coming year?
Again, man, I'm definitely not big when it comes to like political. I have the policies, you know, that I look at, which I think we've gotten away from over the years. You know, we don't look at policies anymore. It's all about just beating down the other person. You know, but my life, you know, I'm not one of those people that look at life and say that it's giving me a black eye, man. You know, I've had rough situations like we all have, man, but I can't blame it on one race or another, you know, because overall my life, man, people have been good to me.
Yeah.
You know, I've had my uncomfortable situations, you know, of course, but you know, I don't look at life like, oh my goodness, like it's just doom and gloom. You know what I mean? People say like it's worse now than it was back in the day, but how? How's it worse now? Like I still have the ability to do what I want to do. You know, I'm not worried about walking outside and getting lynched or strung up in a tree or nothing like that. You know what I mean? And again, I also believe that it's based on people's experiences. So I can't tell the next person to think the same way I do because their experiences are different than mine. But my experiences in my life, you know, people have been good to me in my life. So I look at the world as that, yeah. I mean, I think that, you know, there are tough situations, you know, but I think that that's just life in general. When you look over, you know, civilization, I don't really think there's a lot of difference. You know what I mean? The things that happen now have happened in the past. Everything comes and goes. You know what I mean? It's really just how you're dealing with those situations in your life. There are unfair situations that happen, but that's the way life has always been. So I never
Yeah.
played a victim ever,
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
And again, I'm blessed to never have been put in maybe certain situations that other people have been put in to where
Yeah,
I've had
Russ.
to think differently.
Yeah. I feel you. I feel you. I think when it comes to that perspective of just kind of uh it's hard for me to sit with you totally on that,
Yeah.
just because it's like I think particularly in the cancel culture too, you kind of get forced in a situation where you got to choose a side.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where a lot of people are when it comes to that. Like when people hear you say that, those people who are really hard on people, they'll probably say that you're just being indecisive, or you know what I mean, you're being complacent. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's just hard for people to. It's hard for people to have their own opinion these days. You can't and it's hard for not even that. I won't say that. It's hard for people to have an indifferent opinion, or it's hard to have for people to have a harmonious outlook, because
Mm-hmm.
you just get kind of looked at as someone in the way. Yeah, I mean, like so. I don't know, man. I
Yeah,
wish it wasn't that way. Yeah, I mean, but it's just that's how it is. You know, like,
yeah. I think for me, man, it all still comes down to, man. You know, the I was blessed with an ability to to be one of those individuals that I understand people. You know what I
mm,
mean? I understand people. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And I think when it comes down to it, no matter what, I think we're still more the same than we are different. Um, and for me, I can't worry about how other people live their lives or what they think about me. You know what I mean? Because again, there's one to a box. I still got to live my life, and I still got to live my life in a way that I have to be an example, no matter what. And the
mm,
example for me is to be a good father, to take care of my kids, to pursue my dreams, and if there's places that I'm called, or there's places that I need to be pulled to for a certain type of influence, then I'll cross those roads when it's time for that.
yeah,
Um, but everybody has their calling, everybody has their gift, and I would never tell anybody not to operate within their gift. If that's their gift, if they're to be an activist, if they're to be, a leader in certain areas, then go for
yeah,
it.
yeah.
To me, it's not about being complacent. It's just being who I am. I don't have
Feel
time
it.
to worry about
Yeah,
what
nah.
people want me to be.
But I just feel like we live in an era now where it's like you can't say like the people won't allow you the freedom to be blessed.
Right, but that's what I mean. You keep saying people,
Right.
you know
Yeah,
what I mean? And people
yeah,
won't let me do this, and people
yeah.
won't let me. I don't care what people want me to do,
I
because
feel
I'm
that.
still going to do what I want to do.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel
and
that.
that, and that's what it comes down. That if there's any way, if you want to talk about something that stir me up, I guess that'll
Mm,
what will stir me up. No one can knock me off of who I am. It don't
yeah.
matter. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm,
as you
mm-hmm.
said, I don't care what people want me to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They don't walk in my shoes. And I
I
think
feel.
that's the problem. People are too influenced by other people and what they want them to do and how much pressure is put on. No, I'm gonna be
Mm-hmm.
who I am. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And you go ahead and be who you want to be. That's not
yeah.
choosing. I don't need to choose a side. My side is I choose people. Period.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Um, and that's
And
just how it's
ultimately,
going to
I
be.
feel like that's the pinnacle for all human beings. You know what I mean? Like I feel like all human beings should get to a place of just being able to just experience life at their pace. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just this. I don't know. This world is built so that okay, it's hard for you to have a brand. I think. Like, does that type of mentality? Do you think that will hurt your brand?
Nah, because not everybody has to vibe with my brand. You know what I
Uh,
mean? Again, my brand is authenticity. I'm as
right.
authentic as I could possibly be. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's part of
Yeah.
me being authentic. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. If I shift and I change and I move the way people want me to move, then that's completely contradicting what my brand is.
Okay, definitely. No, that's the part of the Bible you highlight. That's that was worth the price of admission right there. You know what I mean? Just that totally explains the brand right there. But yeah, nah, I feel you, man. And it's like I don't know, it's this world, man, it's just I think too, because I rap and stuff, I think I take on a lot of people's thoughts. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because I have to narrate it. You know what I mean? Like I have to bring it. I have to bring everybody's perspective to light. You know what I
right,
mean? At least that's what I choose to do with my artistry. I try not to represent just one aspect of the black experience. You know what I mean?
right.
So yeah, but
I
can
think even whenever,
we,
if you look at my brand and you look at all the stuff that I share, you don't really see too much of that stuff that we just talked about.
right,
I
right,
don't even go in that direction.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't go in that direction. And
Mm-hmm.
being on camera, even having these type of conversations is usually something I don't usually do.
Yeah,
That would usually be like a more one-on-one behind closed doors. So
yeah,
you
yeah,
asked, honestly, you asked a tough question for me. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because
That's what
uh,
they was
I've
supposed
had
to
those
do.
conversations, in private. And I've had some of the exact same feedback and reactions that you can be anything but more than what I am. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
that's two real people who not only is going to keep it real, but also keep it real respectful too.
right? No
There's
doubt. Oh,
like
no doubt.
I think there's a difference between sometimes people like to use the truth as to bludgeon people.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
no
mean,
doubt.
I never play like that. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
with me, I feel like you can tell the truth and still respect yourself and respect others. Yeah, I mean,
right.
so with me and you being two real people who's gonna not only we're gonna state our opinion, but we also gonna say it in a way, we're also gonna conduct ourselves respectfully. Yeah, I mean,
No doubt.
you command respect, I command respect, and so it's a mutual thing. And I feel like that's how every human being should conduct this. I think that's where it goes wrong. It's like,
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, when you try to weaponize the truth, when you try to weaponize your point of view, that's where everything go bad. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I agree.
mm,
I do.
yeah, man.
I think you can have, as you said, uh, mature conversations, and I think that
Hmm.
that's a better example than anything.
Yeah.
Because you're not always gonna agree. You're not always gonna have the same perspectives, but
Hmm.
that's okay. You know what
But
I mean? That's completely okay.
Word. We could get some shout outs, man. You mentioned a couple pages. I want you to shout them out officially so they could be stuck in people's psyche.
Yeah, for one, my homeboy DJ Cold Blooded, man, just one of the cats that has really been just a real catalyst to helping our brand grow. My homie, my cousin Bump 724, one of my favorite artists. Very um, very smart individual, man, and I'm not influenced by a lot of people, but he's one of the people that really influences me. Um,
Hmm.
all the biker cats, man, the BS Wills, BS Dale, BS Nah, them guys really came and helped the brand grow, a lot. Shout out to you, you know what I mean, for
Appreciate that.
allowing me to come on the platform, man, and to speak my mind and my truth, and just uh, making me feel appreciated, for what I do on a daily basis. I really appreciate you doing that.
Word.
And just all my followers, on Instagram, that are following Authenticity is Magnetic, and just everything, that whole community, just sticking with us and just being genuine and helping us grow.
Word. What page you want people to check out on Black Friday or Cyber Monday?
So they can check out authenticityismagnetic.net.
Mm. Make
Um,
sure y'all save y'all rubles for that, man. Y'all better. I need some with an AIM T-shirt on
yes,
Thanksgiving.
sir.
Yeah, Thanksgiving. Y'all better have it.
Appreciate you either way, man. Any likes, comments, anything, you know what I mean? I appreciate it all.
Yeah, yeah.
It goes a long way.
Hmm. And then, I noticed too, just like, and I know, me and you got history, but like I said, we haven't been in the same room in like over 2 years, and I'll notice like if I throw some fire signs or something like that in your DM about some of your t-shirts, your response is always like, "Thanks, man." Like, I mean, I
Yeah,
feel like that goes a long way with people. Like, you know, people take their time to show you appreciation and you show it back. Like those are the reasons why I feel like it was necessary for us to talk. You know what I mean? Because this is a local brand from somebody who puts, like I said, is a family business, and you know, you put your equity, sweat equity, and stuff into it. These are stories people really need to hear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for sure. Like,
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I never take anybody's time or their appreciation for granted, man. It's
mm,
just, again, that's just not how I'm built. You know, I understand that we all have our own things, and for anybody to take a moment to put some fire emojis or just a comment or something, I mean, how can you not appreciate that? You know, that's what you build the business for, and you know, that's my biggest passion, is if I can earn some type of respect from people that I respect. I mean,
mm-hmm.
that's the best gratitude that you can possibly have.
Right.
And it's genuine. You know what I mean? And
We need an AIM mixtape. Like, even if I give you like an EP, man, let's get that mixtape popping.
I'm with that.
All right, we gonna work it out. All
Yes, sir.
right, man. I don't mean to rush you out, but Instagram is giving us limited time. I
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
you, bro. Definitely want to have you come back through, swing through, speak on it. Make sure you send him all of your love, man, and make sure y'all keep throwing them fire emojis on his t-shirts. And you know, what I mean, shout out to A, man. Authenticity is magnetic, bro. Peace.
Folkland Los, I appreciate you, man.
Peace, bro.
All right.
Man, thanks for joining the show, man. We're gonna save it. Hopefully it saves correctly, and you can come back and check out some of your favorite tidbits. And I'll be back on here tomorrow doing my book review. Thanks for everybody that popped through. We had some new faces. We had some familiar faces. Man, I love all y'all, man. Shout out Most Dope, 216. Shout out the Most Known Bastard. This is the SOS podcast, man. Peace.